assert ourselves as American citizens, to have our voices to be heard, and also to have those people to represent our interests, and stop trying to be cowardly and thinking that we have to continue to have other people speak for us and to speak our issues. We need to, that has definitely has got to change. That is 20th century mindset. There's no way that
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
I'm gonna get there, yes, somehow. Push my way through the crowd. I'm gonna grab you by the hand to a place we will stand. Stand proud, no fear. It's clear, I believe in you. I believe in me. Oh yeah, I believe that we can make this dream a reality. Yeah, yeah. Now's the time to be. Now's the time for miracles. Oh, it's in my heart so deep. 'Cause
I believe. All right. Yes, I do. Welcome, each and every one of you to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Me and Leo, you know, we love to sing. Yeah, we love our people and we love God. So on this beautiful, beautiful day, welcome. We're so happy that you've joined us here today, and we've got a hot show lined up for you. Please say hello to Mr. Leo Burrows. How are you today, sir?
Good morning, everybody, on this beautiful day, and praise the Lord and pass the ammunition for justice, decency, and fair play.
Yes, sir, up in the house. I'm with you 100%. Please say hello to Brother James Moran. How are you today, Jimmy?
Good morning. I'm doing well. And hello, Baltimore.
Hello. And we've got the other maestro. Y'all know these are all my maestros because they're all musicians of sorts. Please welcome Mr. Richard Terry. How are you today, Richard?
Oh, I'm okay today. I've just been contemplating a few things this morning.
Well, we're going to get to him because I know you's loaded. You always are. He is always loaded. I tell you, he called me, and I might not be able to talk to him right then, but I always call him back because I know he's got some nuggets that he needs to drop that will not only further our debates, but solutions to them. So we bless each and every one of you for being with me. I'm really... Oh, and how can I forget our producer, Mr. Jason Rodriguez? How are you today, Jason?
Good morning, family. Doing well. Just want to remind everyone we are now streaming live on Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube. Hopefully the stream will hold today, but you can check us out and get to see everybody in studio in all their glory this morning, including the wonderful Patrick Henderson.
Well, man, I tell you what, y'all can call me wonderful, whatever y'all want to call me.
Mr. Wonderful.
Well, I
just don't call you late for dinner.
Don't call me late for dinner, but whatever you do, don't call me a Republican.
Oh.
Okay, you want to catch my wrath, you're going to get cussed out. Yeah, I'm saved, sanctified, and filled, but I will cuss your ass out if you call me a Republican. Don't get it twisted.
My Lord.
Yeah, I sure
Militancy.
will.
Can you make it plainer?
Militancy.
I hope I can't make it no plainer than that. I tell you what, these people are ruining this nation.
You betcha.
They are doing things that are just so unbelievable. And I was listening this morning to Morning Joe, and they asked, what is the number one threat to the world? And this guy said the number one threat to this world is white supremacy that's rising up all around the globe.
That's right.
That's the fear. We're looking at Hitler-esque times that are coming right here in our face. I mean, the president, he said he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. So far, he is right. He is doing it. And
yeah, he's a global leader for white supremacy, white nationalism,
and money. The whole thing, he's sitting across the table from these Arab sheiks. And these people killed Khashoggi, that the American
cut him up in pieces.
In journalists,
and the FBI told him, he's over the college. He says, "Well, we need the money." They bought what, $34 billion or something in
military
stuff.
Aircraft,
so
which ultimately will be used against us.
Exactly. He's such an idiot.
His crazy trip to North Korea, like.
Oh man!
Ivanka got a photo op.
Yeah, well, she sure did get a photo op.
Well, Jason, he stepped into North Korea. He made 20 steps into North Korea. Aren't you impressed?
Yeah,
I guess. I wish one of those mines would have went off.
20 steps.
Well, listen, we're going to start the day with, as many of you know, Poe Homes has been without water now. Is it still without water, Leo? Are they still?
The water pressure is up somewhat. I'm told that by some of the residents that it's up, but it's brown water that's still coming through.
So they can't. It's not potable. They can't drink it.
Well, if you boil it, you can.
Oh, God,
it's there are people who are taking baths. They're not
in that water.
Yes, they are, and some say the water's clear. Others say it is not. So we would have to hear from Mr. Ware. Mr. Ware is the president of the Poe Homes Tenant Council, and I guess he can articulate. He's on scene. He lives there. What the status is of the water.
I'm waiting for his number. We're going to try to get him on the phone. Jason, what were you saying?
Patrick, I just got to give a shout out to the Radio 1 family, April Watts and Dre Johnson and Persia Nicole. They all reached out to the community, and they were able to get just plenty of water donated, plates, cups, all kinds of toiletries and items that April Watts and the crew took over there to Poe Homes. So just shout out to the family for doing that.
Yes, we shout out to the family for doing that. But we've learned today that they not only need those things, but they need office supplies. Was that correct?
For the tenant council.
For the tenant council, they need typing paper.
810 West Lexington Street, Apartment 1. Yeah, they need office supplies for their
pens and paper.
That's right.
And we need to find out what kind of ink they need and that sort of thing.
Well, Brother Patrick.
Yes.
This is Brother Kamos Muhammad. I want to say greetings to the family.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happens that your company, our company, Freedom Paper Company, you heard of that, right?
Yes, sir.
We got office supply, brother.
Oh, I didn't know you had office supply. Oh, wait a minute. Let me introduce. I was coming to you. You stepped on took my little thunder right there, but that's all right. I would like to. We have a special guest with us today, a young man that I admire because he is a young man, but he has not only the heart for our people, but he is out there doing incredible things. He's a black businessman who is doing something that meets the essential needs of us. Wiping our derrieres, our booties, whatever you want to call it. He is making products that you can use in your household. He has Buy Black. There are no excuses. Buy Black. Freedom Paper. Those of you on Facebook, you can look at it right now and you can see him. Handsome man, black man, look like a pharaoh to me. When I look at his face, I went, man, this brother's been here before. He's a reincarnation of something.
Of the pharaoh.
Yeah, something that.
Go ahead, pharaoh.
Look at that nose.
Brother
look at them piercing eyes. This brother.
All praise is due to the Most High.
Yes, because he created us for a reason. He did, every one of us, and to me, he gives us a persona that goes with it if we listen to him, if our hearts are in tune with him. And my brother, your heart is in tune because your heart is in tune to the people of God. And any person whose heart is tuned to the people of God, who stand up on it, not only are blessed, but are there to bless the people. And that's what you're doing. We're having him on the show today because we do want to make the announcement. Would you go ahead and tell them what your plan is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did want to, because I read, wanted to catch up and make sure I was in tune with the reality of the things that were going on at Poe Homes. Mm-hmm. And in doing such, I looked at some of the history. Mm-hmm. Baltimore, unfortunately, has a ominous history of racism of segregation. Baltimore is the home of redlining. This is where redlining began.
That's right.
Poe Homes started in 1940, from my understanding and reading. And, of course, public housing was segregated at that time. And from what I read, the history of it is such that the city officials throughout the decades continued to utilize this segregation to the benefit of some, making some wealthy and rich to the tune, some say, of billions of dollars in terms of what took place. And so what we are seeing now that is happening with Poe Homes is the continuation of the disinvestment, the lack of proper concern, the lack of doing what is responsible by government to ensure that all of the citizens have what they properly need. And what we want to do then in this small way, first and foremost, is to lend our effort. We're talking with Brother Leo here, and we've talked on the phone with Brother Doc Cheatham. We're going to reach out to Mr. Ware down at the Poe Homes. And what we intend to do on this Wednesday, we want to go in the afternoon, hopefully. We have to, again, family, make sure that we organize this properly. But Freedom Paper Company was organized and created to, as Brother Patrick said, to be able to give and fulfill the basic needs for us. But not only just to be a business, but to be the type of business that enables us to empower ourselves. We need to be able to empower ourselves economically. And so the reason why Freedom Paper Company, this small company, is able to go into Poe Homes, and we're going to give bathroom tissue, we're going to give cleaning supplies. We just heard this morning that office supplies are needed, and we have that at Freedom Paper Company: copy paper, file folders, writing pads, ink pens, etc. We're going to donate these things to our family there at Poe Homes. But understand, family, the reason why a small company like ours is able to do that is because we ask you to buy black with no excuses, right? We ask you to buy black with no excuses. See, when we circulate our dollar, and we should put a demand on the black merchant. When we say that we should spend with ourselves, we also have to demand of ourselves, those of us who are business people, that we are putting money back into our communities. So we, still a baby company, Freedom Paper Company, are doing that. And the reason we have the power to do that is because black people are starting to buy black.
Brother Muhammad, how long have you been in business?
We're celebrating. We just celebrated, praise God, our eighth year in May.
Amen.
And so it's been a hard struggle, Brother Leo. It's not been easy. The paper industry, the family should know, is one of the most robust industries in this world. With just here in the United States, just bathroom tissue, not paper towels, not napkins, just bathroom tissue,
yes.
$2.5 billion a year.
Wow. Just
in the United States is spent. What could we do if black people started buying from us? And we will look, we're committed. We're committed to putting money back in, to creating jobs, to starting new business. We're doing that with others right now, the Black Wolves.
Yes,
as you know, Brother Patrick.
Yes, sir.
We're out in the streets. Started June 8th. Already we have 12 young people that we're training in our entrepreneurship program. See, we don't just talk this stuff.
That's right. Come on.
We're living it.
Yes.
We're doing it for real. We're holding ourselves accountable.
Yes.
And this money is being circulated, and we're building programs.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Go ahead.
I want to invite you to the meeting. I'm sorry we missed signals previously, but the third Monday of each month, Roots of Scouting holds its general community membership meeting. Our next meeting is Monday the 15th at 7 p.m. at the Church of St. Cecilia Hall at 3600 Windsor Avenue at Hilton Street. So I will say more to you after the broadcast, but we certainly would like to have you come.
Yes, sir.
And keep hitting the drum.
Yes, sir.
Beating that drum very loudly for self-determination and supporting your business and other black businesses.
Let us have itching ears. Let us have ears that we go, what did he say? The number one paper suppliers for toilet paper is the Koch brothers. Am I correct?
They are the largest privately owned. The three big companies are Georgia Pacific, owned by the Koch brothers, Kimberly-Clark, and Procter & Gamble. Those are the three major in the what you call the consumer end of the business. They're the three largest.
And that's the monopoly. They monopolize it.
They control roughly about 30% of the market, if I'm not mistaken.
That's all?
Well, that's huge.
But who else? Who's got the other 70%?
Well, again, we're talking about the consumer end. There's a consumer end and a commercial end.
Oh.
So there are other new big companies out there. SCA is just to throw out some names.
Well,
there's big companies out there.
Well, check this out. I'll come to you, Jimmy, next. I want to not only reinforce what he talked about, what he's doing in the community, in particular, the Mosiah Fitz Black Wolves. I was there on June 8th. June the 8th. And I tell you, you all pulled up to that corner of Howard and North Avenue, and you bought and you gave and you bought and you gave. And at the end of the day, those young people who worked there, those black wolves who worked there, they assembled and they were paid right on the spot for the work they had done. They had enough money to take home and buy dinner and groceries for the whole family.
That's right.
When they left there. So this is not only unto Brother Muhammad. This is unto the people, and I can tell you, he treats them, and you should see him teaching them how to be entrepreneurs, getting them off of their duffs and going, no, that ain't the way it works. I just sit and watch you and stuff, and they listen to it. Our boys are just thirsty for direction and mentors. And so my hats are off to you and Mosiah Fit, because you are doing a fantastic job. But not only that, Mosiah Fit has got a camp going on this week over on Fulton Avenue. And if you would like for your children to be in this environment where he's teaching them military exercises, entrepreneurship, black history, they're reading to him, they're baking, and he's a baker, he has a bakery business, and for every pie that they sell, a bean pie, those kids make $1 off of every pie they sell. So this is not only an opportunity for your child to learn entrepreneurship, but it is an opportunity for them to come in and learn who they are.
And Brother Patrick, what's important is, while we're doing these marvelous things,
is doing it.
I mean, can this show help move you along?
Sure. Let me give the major institutions in our city not spend extra money, just switch they're currently buying to buy black, no excuses. So we have every product in paper, a janitorial, office supply, food service, right, and personal care. 5 major categories of product. Churches use these products, mosques use these products, businesses use these products, households use these products. We're buying these products, all of us, in some way, shape, or form. We're simply saying switch. So you're not spending extra money. You're not doing something extra. You're not pulling. You don't have to put quality, a reserve, right? Same or better. Matter of fact, brother, we have our paper is doesn't have the chemical poison called dioxin.
Come on.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Dioxin is cancer causing.
Yes.
Most people don't know you're using it, but we are.
In the area that is most susceptible.
We're introducing a laundry detergent and a fabric softener. Black people spend $800 million a year for laundry detergent. $800 million.
Wow.
Right? We're introducing these products. They don't have the chemical compositions that are killing us in them. So we got high quality products that are better for both human beings and the environment.
So it's a function of advertising. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Richard.
Brother Muhammad, two things, 2 questions, if I may. One, how can I find you online and place an order myself? That's one. And I'm just hearing with you and then the idea of major corporations or major entities switching over to your product. Have anybody looked at the procurement section for the city schools and or the city of Baltimore when they put out a request for proposals to purchase such items in bulk, then competing with everybody, with other distributors for that service?
Well, one of the big hurdles that has to be crossed, and we could do something with this legislatively, but in this industry, they use certain techniques to control markets. So let me give you an example. There's something called proprietary. A big or Georgia Pacific. Just take Morgan State University, for example. A few years ago, we were bidding on a contract for which Kimberly-Clark products were Morgan State University
because of the instruments that dispense the
they're
material.
Proprietary. So how they close a company like Freedom Paper Company out is they'll never give us a price to be able to compete.
Up and let Jason call it and give Jason your name and stuff. And now we look forward to speaking with you. Go ahead, Chris, for your question or comment, sir. Chris? Hello.
About buying black, which is good, because I've been preaching that for the longest time.
Yes, sir.
I had switched over from the USAA bank, so if I used 10 ATM machines at the end of the month, they would give it back. But I made the sacrifice, and I switched over and went with the Harvard Bank.
Okay. Because
I know it's about supporting our own. But the problem that I have seen and hear all the time, when a young boy goes to the black store, and a lot of times they find out that the shelves don't have enough stock. But that's one of the problems. But somebody needs to help these black vendors so they can get the supplies, because they can't compete with the big boys. So that's important for them to get extra money or a low price so they can fill their shelves. Because I had an aunt that had a store right there on Baker and Fremont Avenue back in the day. And everybody hurts when you have a black store. So that's one of the problems. But I also tell young people, when you do that, if you go to the store, sometimes you might have to pay a little more because they can't compete with the big guys. And I do it all the time. If I got to pay $1 more, 50 cents more, I don't have a problem with that.
Yes, sir.
But until they realize and understand that this needs to happen, things are going to change around.
I appreciate that call, and thank you so very much. Did you want to say something?
The brother makes a very, very good point.
Yes.
What we have to do is look at the reasons and the root causes of these types of realities, though. We've had these challenges. In other words, Freedom Paper Company, in order for us to do what we do, we have to buy large amounts of product to be able to compete. That's very difficult when you're undercapitalized, as most of our small businesses are. But let us look at one of the root causes. So if the United States of America was spending more money, or any nation is spending more money outside of itself than within itself, and it's going to have a deficit.
How do we get?
It's going to have a deficit.
Go ahead, Rich. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. One last thing. Like I used to be a contractor, and I know about the RFP. The city, this is how they do business. They'll take the lowest bid, and a lot of times them low bids ain't the best one. But I know people that had taken the low bid for their business, and then they don't have African Americans. But they need to stop doing that low bid and taking certain. And that cuts out a lot of people, because they might be a few $100s too high, but you supporting your own, and they kind of take, they take that away from our black business as well.
It also takes a desire. Thank you, Gordon, for all you've done all through the years. God bless you, man. Thank you. I wanted to ask you a question. Mark, I see you. 410-481-1010, 410-481-1010. Please call in. Let's talk about this. Let's see what we can do here. Before, I wanted to ask you a question, Brother Muhammad. How easy is it or how difficult is it for you to get Freedom Paper on on the shelf of every grocery store in the city? How difficult is that?
Well, we need to start talking to some of these particular stores. But again, what's going to drive that ultimately is demand.
Yes.
Right? So even as simple as this, if people start going into the grocery stores and say, where's the Freedom paper? Where's the laundry detergent? They start asking for the products, then the stores will then look for us to have the products on the shelves.
Do you have a Facebook presence?
Oh, yes. Those things weren't given out. Facebook, we're there at Freedom Paper Company, and the website is www.freedompapercompany.com. Those questions were asked.
Because, what you're suffering from is a lack of recognition, a lack of people knowing that you're there. So you got to figure out how to get the word out. And one of the ways, Facebook is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. So that's a start. But then, maybe it's TV, maybe it's radio shows. Because, quite frankly, until I met you on this show, I didn't know there was a Freedom Paper Company.
I love the name, don't you?
Yeah, I love it.
I love the name.
And were I able to access that on a regular basis?
Yes. But
I would do that.
May I propose to you, and I've talked with Mosiah Fit about it, I would like for us to be able to brand the red, black, and green flag. To find a way to put a red, black, and green flag or a moniker, trademark on everything that is black. So when we go, we can pick up and we read what the content is. We can see that on there. We go, oh, this is a black company. I'm buying this over the other. That would be just so slick to do. But we're trying to get them to, even now, all the black businesses to put that flag up on their businesses. So when you pass by it, you'll know that that's a black person in business. So that we're proposing that to you.
Yes, sir. Yes. And the laundry detergent and fabric softener will be recognizable that way.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to make this point really quick about the deficit. We only spend 2 to 3% of our money with our own businesses. So when the brother talked about the lack of ability of businesses to have things on the shelves, it's because the base, which should be our base, which is the fact with most communities, their base, first and foremost, is their own people.
Yes, sir.
And then they can build out from there.
That's how they do it.
So if we're only spending 2 to 3% of our dollar with ourselves, is it any wonder we have these deficits?
Well, I tell you what, last year alone, African Americans spent I believe it was 3 or 4 trillion.
1.4 trillion.
1.4 trillion in America.
Yes.
Now just think, if we had, a third of that?
Yes.
Coming back to our communities, the power that would give us. Listen, they're not going to give us anything, and they're scared of us. I was laughing the other night because Brother Muhammad was telling us to be careful of using the word army and military because we don't want to attract anybody there. That's not what we're trying to do. I contend that it's not a revolution we want. It is an evolution because the evolutions are bloodless. And I think that we need to think that way, but some of us feel like some of us are going to have to die. But I believe we're evolving, and I think this is still America, and I think persuasive arguments must be founded and grounded in works. Okay, if you got an idea, if you're not doing it, faith without works is dead. So I not only honor you, but I think this is a great opportunity for us to say, oh, I get it. That's jobs. That's money in your children's pocket. He's got a program where if you sell his product, you gets paid too.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I just want y'all to know this man is a gracious heart. And he's not in it just for himself, but just imagine what this could do in the way of jobs and way of uplifting not only our families, but our individual selves.
We have to change our way of thinking in many instances.
Yes.
And when I look at places like what is this pizza place, Uncle John, Papa John's? I stopped using them.
You and I did too. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to talk about the debates next and the mayoral race. So don't be still.
I'm trying to figure out how not to use Home Depot.
Got a word to do for the Lord, and you cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from where you start.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
The views OLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
This is not the time to get distracted, and this is not the time to go off course. This is not the time to lose your focus. Got a word to do for the Lord, and you You cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from where you started. So please don't let the time you've sown be wasted on things that you later regret, wishing you never had. Once you realize it wasn't worth it, your destiny.
We're back. All right. Well, give the information, Camos. What were you going to do on? You got something you want to do on this coming Wednesday that we haven't announced.
Once again, we're going to be at Poe Homes. We're coordinating now with. We're looking to coordinate with Mr. Ware there. We're coordinating with Doc Cheatham, with Brother Leo Barrows here. We want to come down and we to our people, but we also want to share a message of empowerment. We've got to move into action as a people. When we see these things happen over and over for decades and decades, and I'm talking about the specific disinvestment and lack of consideration, the lack of care and responsibility towards certain segments of the population, then we know that this isn't something that is a happenstance. It becomes a pattern, and we have to be the ones to demand, not merely by talking, but by taking particular action and gaining power.
Yes, sir. That's absolutely what it needs to happen, and that's what's going on. Bubby, I know Bubby might be able to give us some sort of update. Mark, I see you there. Don't you touch that dial, Mark. Hold on for a minute. Let me talk to Bubby. Bubby, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How y'all doing?
All right.
Hey, Bubby.
How y'all doing? If you have a problem getting in contact with people at the Poe Homes, you have to look at it and think about it. The Housing Authority of Baltimore City used intimidating tactics to scare residents. And I can almost guarantee you that those tactics are in play right now.
Do you think that's why Leon, Mr. Ware, we waiting for his number, and we are hoping that someone would ask him to call in? Yes, sir.
Ware, the president?
Yes, sir. You have a number for him?
Yes, I do have a number for him, but I give it to you off air.
Oh, he gave guy. Okay, great. So we're going to call. Go ahead, Jason. See if you can get him on the phone. Okay, he's been trying. We're trying to get Mr. Ware. If y'all see him around there and y'all listen to the radio, tell him they calling for you on the radio. You need to call in because there's some help that's waiting there for the people. And thank you so much, Camos, for Mr. Muhammad. I know I have such an unusual name. What is that? Is that Egyptian Kamos?
Yeah, well, ironically, you were talking about the pharaoh. Kamos was the 17th dynasty pharaoh of Kemet, who was instrumental in the war against the Hyksos, which were the Asian invaders who came into Upper Egypt. And our ancestors fought them back. This was a long, drawn-out war. But we were victorious in that war. And that family line carried the battle and won.
Amen.
Did your mama name you Camos?
The spirit did that.
I see. Well, you picked the right name. I don't know why I felt that spirit from you, but I know it was up in his blood somewhere. See there? Y'all just and I believe in reincarnation. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, but I believe that we come back. Our spirits, our
souls. What are you coming back as?
I come back as Patrick.
I'll come back as an elephant. I'll be an elephant when I can.
Let's see. If I would come back, I'd love to be a tree, though. They live the longest and give the greatest benefit to the earth. All right, Bubby. We've got a number from Mr. Ware, and we're going to try to get in touch with him. Have you been over there lately?
Yes, I have. I was down there yesterday.
And how are the conditions?
The conditions, people are still telling me that they have water. They do have running water. The pressure not where it should be, but consider we live in Baltimore, the pressure never where it's supposed to be. So, but my whole concern has always been the tenants first and the reaction that they receive from the leadership at the Baltimore City Housing Authority.
Yes, sir. Are the teams working down there, the public works working around the clock to get this straightened out, or are they leaving at 5 and coming in 9 to 5? Do you know, Bubby?
Say again, I didn't hear you repeat that.
Or the Department of Public Works who's doing the works on the pipes, are they working 24/7, or are they coming in doing a 9 to 5 and leaving?
They have a contractor. And if you know anything about contractor work, the contractor is not working 24/7.
Why? They're paying them.
Contractor, I cannot tell you for sure, but I know for a fact that they is not working 24/7 around the clock down there. And let's keep in mind, Patrick, that this is a systemic history of incompetence at the Baltimore City Housing Authority.
Yes.
I am asking Matt Jack Young to show some leadership and immediately fire Janet Abraham.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what makes it dangerous. They have a lawyer down there by the name of Jan Gosley. No one blow their nose unless Jan Gosley gives them the authority to blow their nose. In other words, before they do anything, they talk to Jan Gosley. Jan Gosley was the same black lady that empowered Paul T. Graziano to allow that terrorist to reign for 15 years. Now they bring this female terrorist to reign over those people down there, and no one want to say something. Jack Young talks about he want to be the mayor. Well, if he want me and my people's support, if he don't fire Janet Abraham immediately, I will be the #1 proponent against Jack Young. Plus, he can't win West Baltimore anyway.
Well, opponent, I got you. Thank you, Bubby.
Bubby,
go ahead.
Bubby, I have a question. You there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I'm here.
Aren't most of your contractors from New York and Pennsylvania? I mean, I've seen a lot of foreign license. You know, they don't hire. Those are the same contractors that shovel the snow in the wintertime, and they're not from Maryland or Baltimore. I mean, that's
Leo, Hey, Leo, I give you one better than that. The entire leadership at the Baltimore City Housing Authority is not residents of the state of Maryland, and none of them were Baltimore City residents until they received those 6 figures. So you tell me, how can that be? And by the way, they demoted Reggie Striver and put him on the housing side. He's no longer at the Housing Authority of Baltimore City.
Doesn't this go back to Rudy Chow? I mean, isn't Rudy Chow in the mix? He's been there 10 years as the director of the Department of Public Works.
Stephanie Rowland Blake should have fired Rudy Chow.
Yeah.
We know Rudy Chow cared nothing about black people. Now, we hearing all this stuff about these immigrants on the border and the children. Well, go to Poe Homes and see how those kids are living when they didn't have any water. Then they look like immigrants from West Baltimore.
All right, Bubby. Thank you so much, man, and keep us progressed on what's going on. Really appreciate you. Bless you, my friend. Mark, is that Mark C? Mark?
No, this is Mark Willis.
Hi, hello, Mr. Willis.
Hey, Mark,
how are you today, sir?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm on a Leo Padre.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Leo.
Yes, sir.
I know you're looking for me. I'm missing in action.
Yeah, I missed you Saturday, so we got to talk about that off air this afternoon.
Right,
It's very important I speak with you. Go ahead.
Right. Basically, I know at least five black stores open within a month, and basically, like the earlier caller said, it's like stock with certain things to be competitive with the other races. People got convenience stores and all that, and I stood there and talked to each and every one of them about little pros and cons, Mike, that we need to network together. Two, had no ice. You know what I mean? And that's ice is gold right now.
Yes, it is.
So you ain't providing ice for cups of ice. Keep your drinks cold and stuff like that. And but basically, what I was trying to explain to them that we need a update Black History merchant book. And
there is online, but I think it's buyblack.com.
There are several mediums for which black businesses are advertising through. As my brother said, none of us really, what you might call small businesses, are known enough. Our biggest challenge is getting known, and we, the black merchants, sometimes is the problem ourselves, as we don't, as brothers talking about, we don't work together, we don't strategize together, and we don't buy black from each other too, as black merchants, which is a major problem.
And one of the brother that got the restaurant, he got ice, and he said he cutting his ice machine off. I'm like, man, this is the first day of summer. You cutting ice because he's generating too much ice. So I'm telling him, then won't you be the distributor to them? So he say, I went over to the Korean store and told him, let me go. I say, what did he say?
He say, no, I'm all right. So I say, these other 4 stores, you network with them. So I got all them phone numbers. I'm just trying to network them just around ICE. You know what I'm saying? But the scale could go higher and higher. And we need to see how we could set up like investing in stock.
Mark Willis.
Yeah.
Mark, continue to do what you're doing.
Yes.
We need to develop a black agenda. We've got an election next year.
Yes, sir.
And we've got to get people who are running not only for city council but for mayor who are going to speak to our needs.
Yes.
If they're not speaking to the needs of black people, African people, then we can't support them. And we've got to keep doing what you're doing, and we've got to magnify and continue to mobilize around the kinds of things that you're talking about.
Yes.
A black business agenda and an education agenda across the board. Health, sanitation, you name it.
Check this out. This morning, Doc Cheatham on Larry Young's show said it's time. All the community associations need to issue a memorandum of understanding with every candidate that they want to that is running for mayor, and give them their needs and what they want done, and it's established from the jump. And if that person doesn't do it, they will vote them out, but they will not endorse them until they sign that memorandum of understanding. I love that idea.
Because we just took over our neighborhood association down here in, off of Frederick Avenue, called Mount Olivet, and we got some high roller white associations trying to like say, oh, we ain't never heard of that, but you heard of us now, and we coming to the table.
Yes,
because they benefit. See, you got strong white neighborhood associations. It's benefit. Like now, Bond Secure Hospital. If somebody says changing the name, but Bond Secure Hospital, it's the institution going to be stripping money out in St. Agnes, because they the only institutions now is to handle the money, because most banks went extinct. You know what I mean? In these little real hot black community areas. So the hospitals is going to be the one distributing the money out and controlling, you know, the finance.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. I'm going to keep it moving here. 410-481-1010. 410-481-1010. Call in with your questions and your solutions, your thoughtful solutions. The Bible says that a wise man seeketh counsel. Some people don't like Facebook, but I like Facebook. I like when people come on there and talk about an issue that they're having. And I love to be able to talk to them and to exchange ideas with them. You know, we just live so isolated, and it has cost us really, really. People tell me, you tell too much on the air. This lady said to me, because I've told you all know I was once a heroin addict. And she said, you tell too much of your business. Well, the Bible says they overcame by their testimonies. In other words, somebody could hear my experience and realize, hey, man, that guy did that, and here he is today. The whole idea is to let people know that they don't have to stay the way they are, that there is a different way to do it. I call it a better way, but it is my thought and my experience
and
that
people
it was better.
perish for the lack of knowledge.
Brandon Scott is running for office. Bernard Jack Young is running for office. Do not assume because anybody is a black person running for office that they have a black agenda. Make them tell you what they're going to do for you and how they're going to uplift you, your family, and your neighborhood. Then you're on point. But otherwise, don't assume because they've got a black face.
No, you don't. But I tell you what, I think
folks who do.
Write it down what you want them to do. That's what it is. And then, because Baltimore's got it confused. They do. The officials, customer service, everything. People act like they're doing you a favor. God, I hate the customer service in this town. I do. Richard, yes?
Now you've opened up Pandora's box.
Go ahead, Richard.
I want, and I hope the 7th floor at Fayette and President hears this, in addition to 100 Holiday Street.
Okay.
And this is this, and I wish one of them would answer this question. You say you want citizen input in order to help straighten this city out. Is it citizen input you want, or just input from citizens that you can control, manipulate, and go along with it, whatever the heck you want to go along with?
Yes, sir, I agree, and we are seeing it. But you know what? You gotten some letters here lately. You got some emails, haven't you? Richard?
Oh, yeah.
From some powers that be. So some of them are realizing that they just read the emails alone, because you have some incredible solutions that have not only worked before, but are also innovative and would get us out of a lot of the quagmires we're having in this city, especially with the police department. Manny, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
I have a comment.
Thank you.
God, He takes the impossible and make it possible.
Yes.
We as black people have to learn. When I go out to eat, very rarely, because I cook a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when we go out to eat, if they don't look like me, I don't give them my damn money. Justice, when things are not going right for you, and you think no one loves you, and every time things seem impossible, but this is what I want to tell you. God truly loves you, and He will make things possible just for you, because God knows. You have to know the right angle.
Well, but what I love it, and I agree with you to a degree, but what if God says no? What if He doesn't do it? My bishop used to say that prayer is spiritual therapy. Prayer is not magic. Prayer is spiritual therapy. It's not magic. So what happens to those people?
Man,
yes, sir.
Exactly right. But when He says no, you got to learn that God, that the approach to a difficult problem is the triangle. For God, nothing is impossible.
I agree. So that
this is what caused the Lakers to win so many championships, because of the triangle. This caused them to win so many championships because of the triangle.
What's the triangle? And I'm going to cut you off after this.
The triangle offense that was put in years ago by Jerry. I forgot who put it in.
Riley?
Riley, yeah, he's the one who put it in. He brought it from Chicago.
And what is it?
It's an offense that's centered around one individual. He had Jordan in Chicago, and I think he tried to put it around Magic in L.A.
Exactly.
And what exactly is the essence of it? I'm sorry, I'm missing something here.
No, we want to win.
But
it's costing us a lot. Because if you lose a lot, you're going to lose. But what we need to do is learn what justice is about. Justice is not about black or white.
Right.
Right or wrong.
Right.
Justice
it's about right or wrong.
Evidence. Justice is about evidence, the pursuit of the truth.
Yes.
That's what justice is about.
Does the arc of the moral universe bend inevitably toward justice, as Martin Luther King has said, does it?
Yes, sir.
I agree with you. Thank you. I love you too, my brother.
Brother Patrick, 2 points real quick. The first one is this. The Holy Quran says it like this. God does not change the condition of a people until they change. So we have to work in harmony with the prayers that we have. As you say, there's no abracadabra. There's no and puff, presto changeo in something. No, we have to. The essence of God is in us. We have to be manifesting the realities out of ourselves. Right?
As a man thinketh, so is he.
And the brother made a point that we can't miss this point. The brother, the former brother, said about those powerful institutions. He named Bon Secours and another that are giving monies. In terms of the politics and the political campaigns. So even when we come with good ideas, if we can't back up even a beneficent candidate, someone who wants to do good, then inevitably that person becomes potentially victim to the powers that have money. This is why we got to buy black no excuses and then put responsibility on all of us to do what's needed so that we can fund our candidates and ensure that they do what they're supposed to do.
Brother Muhammad, if I may, with all due respect, you got to suddenly realize how Bon Secours fits into this whole.
Okay. Hold on, Richard. Let me give him a call because I know you finna give us some empirical evidence and solutions that just hold on, just don't lose your thought. But I'm gonna go to Chris 410-481-1010. Y'all call in, get involved. We ain't trying to teach you how to teach you nothing. We just want to make you think and see the need to understand the power that we the people have in this city and everywhere. Chris, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Good afternoon, Patrick.
Hello, Chris Irving.
How are you?
I'm blessed, my friend.
Good
How
afternoon.
are you?
Hey, Chris.
Greetings, brother.
Leo,
Could you come off your speakerphone? We got bad reception from you. If you could come off your speaker, I would appreciate it. I don't know if you're driving.
That's right. Come off your speaker, man.
Yeah, I was trying to use those earbuds.
Yes, sir.
But good afternoon to everybody. Leo, James, Patrick, Jason, and your guest.
Well, I'm not a guest.
You brought me in right at this
Richard.
point for a reason.
Yes, go ahead.
And so let me speak directly to the brother that has the paper products. Let me ask you: do you actually do the manufacturing yourself?
Yes, sir.
And do you have dedicated shippers that you work with?
Well, I don't know what you mean exactly by dedicated shipper. You mean locally or you mean nationally?
Carriers, I should say. I'm sorry, carriers.
Yes, we use carriers to distribute products and service the national community. Yes.
And the reason I ask is because I have a trucking operation myself.
Yes, he does.
Where I deal with the paper products coming straight out of the port, as you know, the big rolls of paper, whether they're going to Winchester, Virginia, or different places. And I can tell you, it's just as hard for black truckers to stay in business. So we're talking about creating an ecosystem that works for us, but we need to be working with each other within that, just like you said, that even people like yourself, distributors and manufacturers, need to work with other black operators. So I would offer my services to you as well. Yes. You know, just that whole conversation around economics and everything is at the heart of what deals with what backs up our politics.
Yes, man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Segue into that other conversation, you know, as Patrick and others know, I'm in the city council race. And you can have the right candidate all day long. If that candidate doesn't have what they need to run that race and represent those interests, they won't be viable.
That's
Not
right.
because their compass isn't set properly, but because they just can't maintain the run. So with that, I would just like to offer my contact to you. If you need shipping, someone who can run it. I have 2 tractors, 4 trailers, and a warehouse. We're able to do business.
Yes, sir, brother. We would love to do that. In fact, we think we're in one of the leaders in what we call collaborative economics. A lot of things that you might find on our website, which are produced by other black manufacturers, toothpaste, mouthwash, deodorant, etc. We're looking for those kinds of relationships. We say we have to find a way to say yes to each other.
Yes.
We have to find a way to be determined about finding the way to work together. It's if we don't, we see the consequence. We see our suffering. We talk about it. We can't just complain.
Sustaining it,
We have to do something different and find solutions. So yes, sir, brother, please.
Chris, a lot of people don't know, but Chris has his program works with recidivism. He takes young men or young women or whoever they are. All they need is a driver's license, and he can help them not only get their CDL license, but also their GEDs and also things. So not only is he's like you, he's doing things that not only that it's holistic.
And
We're
he has
not
a
just
heart
listening.
for the city.
And it has a heart for the city. So, Chris, thank you so much for calling in. See, we made that connection. That's what I'm talking about. You never know who you might meet on Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. That's where you don't need to miss it.
And Patrick, we forget he's running for office as well.
Yeah, Chris is running in what district, Christopher?
That's the 5th district, Northwest Baltimore.
Northwest Baltimore. Is that my district?
If I could.
That is your district, Patrick.
You're in the 6th, Pat. You're in the 6th.
Oh, he's in the 6th.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the 6th.
If I could, though, what we do with our program, yes, we help them. We get their CDL license, but they're also, because of our partnership with Baltimore City Community College, they're also able to continue with the community college to get their AA degree if they want.
Yes, all right. Can they get certifications there like phlebotomy? The starting salary is $40,000 a year, and it's a 6-month certificate program. Can they do things like that too?
That's right.
Once they sign up,
hook up. Once they join our program, they actually are signed up with Baltimore City Community College as well. So they have everything available to them that any Baltimore City Community College.
What is the name of your program, and how do people get in touch with you?
Right.
The Lazarus.
A lot of mention of the Bible and the scriptures and the Quran. So we are the Lazarus Right.
RITE
Lazarus from the Bible.
Lazarus Right, and that they can go to Facebook and find you. Lazarus Right.
They can find me, Christopher Irvin, or the Lazarus Wright, on Facebook, on Instagram, all over the place.
Wonderful.
On these airwaves with Patrick Henderson.
Leo.
And I can't help but state what we all know. What we've said bespeaks of the first fruits of the African harvest. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Kwanzaa in many respects. Some of you don't agree with that, but I'm going to keep hitting that theme. Those 7 principles will unify us in ways that some of us can't envision with the 10 Commandments. And I'm a believer in the 10 Commandments, but we better keep focusing on
connecting.
It's all
That's
connecting.
all I want to say. I still say there's an awakening going on in this city, in the hearts of our people because of Trump. Because we never thought America was as racist as we all really knew, but now they've lost all shame. They don't give a flying pahoney about anything. So we're seeing that it's about us. We've got to concentrate.
And we need to stop apologizing.
Yes, and tucking our tails. And like Martin Luther King says, a man can't ride your back if it ain't bent. Straighten up, stand up. Don't get me started up in here.
Go ahead, get started.
Sharon.
Get started.
Sharon, you have a question or comment?
Yes,
Welcome.
I have a question and a comment.
Come on, sweetheart.
First of all, right, they also going to have a problem down there on Argo and Smithson Avenue. Water shooting up out the ground. Now, Patrick, I want to get to this one. Can I hit on that debate, the presidential debate?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me take it. Kamala Harris, right. I heard somebody pose the question to you, well, if you don't vote for Biden, what? So you basically saying you're going to vote for Trump. I heard that conversation. You was right to stand your ground, and I will say this to you. Elizabeth Warren, in my opinion, and I'm going to go with the guy named Eric Sewell, that's the Democratic ticket. Anything other than that, Trump won that debate.
So you're not in support of Kamala?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. She's good as far as doing a prosecution, but I'm going to tell you where she did herself a disservice. Because they not going to like no black woman. Well, she be black when she want to be black, but she acts white. And I don't really want to hear her talking about reparations and everything for black people, and she married to a white man. That's my opinion.
Well, Sherry, I heard you the other day. You know I love you to life. I do. I love you to life because I know you love me. And you let folks know that you love me and you listen to me. But you know, baby, I feel you. Every time I see a commercial where there's a black man sitting there with a white woman, I just cringe in my flesh. I just go, why? They ain't trying to let us on the air, but when they do, why they got to show us a black man with a white woman? But you know what? Because of who I am and because of what I am sexually, I don't feel as though I have a right to tell others whom they can love. I understand. I feel it the same way that you do because I know we need all our black men. But I think that's the place where we cross the line when we tell people who they should love. So, I just, baby, I want you to know.
That's my opinion.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. And everybody not going to agree with
I know, but I tell you, I feel you, though.
She came out with it hard.
Yeah.
She came out with it real hard. But see, basically, she showed people what's going to happen if he wins that nomination.
That's what she did. What she did.
And which was good.
Yes, ma'am.
Because let me tell you something.
That's the tip.
Trump fears Elizabeth Warren.
That's who he's scared of.
He do not fear Joe Biden.
No, he don't.
Everybody to vote for Joe Biden because he know he going to win with Joe Biden.
Yeah, it's going to be just more of the same.
Elizabeth Warren.
Yep.
I think she could take him down.
I believe she will. Thank you, sweetheart.
I just want to say to the listening audience.
Hold up for a minute, Leo. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010. Don't you touch that dial. It's getting hot up in here.
Patrick, let me in when you get a chance.
Okay, buddy.
This is not the time to get distracted.
Talking the day, soul at night on the new 1010 WOLB.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness with Ageless Male Max, with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone. Try your first 30-day supply free. Just pay shipping and handling. Text the word HARD to 606060. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. Text HARD to 606060. Text HARD to 606060.
Are you close to losing your home to foreclosure? Do you not even open up the mail anymore because of constant threats to garnish your wages or take away your home? Don't get more and more frustrated with the system. Use it to your advantage. Often you can find bankruptcy protection and keep your home and other assets. And now the Foreclosure Assistance Center is here to help you and do it for less. They are offering a low fixed rate of just $500 a file for bankruptcy. So call them today at 410-415-3777. The attorneys at the Foreclosure Assistance Center have over 20 years of experience in helping homeowners save their homes and stop the harassment from creditors. Take action now. It's far more expensive to get out of it the longer you wait. Do it now. Call 410-415-3777 or visit foreclosureassistancemd.com for a $500 bankruptcy. Get out of debt now. Stop the harassment and keep your property. Call 410-415-3777 today. That's 410-415-3777 or check out foreclosureassistancemd.com. They are a debt relief agency helping people file bankruptcy under the bankruptcy code.
Baltimore and beyond. This is your host, Lou Fields. BDX Live Talk Show now airs every Monday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on 1010 a.m. You can also listen online at WOLBbaltimore.com. BDX Live covers breaking news, business news and reports, tips and topics from Baltimore's business community as well as the state of Maryland across the country. We also give you the Maryland Black Facts every Monday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We also provide political updates and news from City Hall, County Council, and what's going on in Annapolis, Maryland. We also have a special feature on health and wellness, diet and nutrition, home care, self-care, nursing, speaking with healthcare providers. We also cover travel and tourism, conventions and reunions and bus trips coming into Baltimore. We also have a special section called Sports and Entertainment, Sports Rap with the Coach. And lastly, we cover community news and events with our special guests, and we talk about what's happening when and where. Tune in every Monday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., 10:10 a.m. This is your host, Lou Field, saying, tune in Mondays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., WLB Baltimore, 10:10 a.m.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions host you here on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. That's what we're saying here today. You know, we're going to keep moving here. We've got calls. We've got Carlos. I see you there. But Brother Campos, because we want to get that, I want to discuss some other things. But Richard, what did you have to say? Come quickly.
Okay, three major things. One, you're talking about Bonsacors. Watch Bonsacors because they're now tied to Sinai. Watch what the four major medical cabals begin to do because they're going to begin to flex their political muscle through their finances and who they support. Mm-hmm. Two, watch this election coming into Baltimore City and watch who's going to be running for mayor and president of the city council. If we can get the best candidate in, we can take out two chairs right off the top and get the incumbents and those who have been there for forever and a day out of there and out of our way.
What is an incumbent?
A person who's been there before.
Come on, just for all y'all say we're using big words on here. An incumbent, they've been their asses up in there way too long. They needs to be voted out. That's what it is.
Sir.
Go ahead.
It's the academic in me.
Yes, that's all right. That's all right. I love it. Keep going. You got three.
Okay, so you can take the two of them out in one fell swoop.
Okay.
Three.
You want to give us their names?
Oh, Jack Young and Brandon Scott.
Woo! So you just stop preaching and go to meddling now. Keep going. Give me the third one.
Okay, that's two. Three. What's happening to the city is happening in plain sight.
Yes, sure is. Mm-hmm.
What is going on is watch what's happening. D.C. has already changed.
Yes, sir.
Baltimore is next, Philly is next, and New York is next.
That's right.
And it is the same direct route that this new hyperlink train is coming in. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're starting on the infrastructure now, and we don't know.
I don't doubt it for 1 minute. And I said to Leo coming over here, don't you sell your house. Keep your house. Don't sell it. If you need to get out of it, fix it up and rent it out. Because Baltimore is getting ready to become the next D.C. because the property value here is much less and much more beautiful.
And because of the location.
Yeah,
we're 45 minutes away from D.C.
Right.
This will be the new bedroom community.
That's right.
It's already starting to be that way.
Yes.
And what is going on, the Hispanics will be the predominant minority in the city within the next 5 to 10 years.
That not according to an article I just read in yesterday's Sun that James C. Morant, the Mexicans are getting out of here. They're not staying here. And I'm going to read that article. We're going to thank you.
Then I may be wrong in that, but
the white millennials.
It's the white millennials. All right. Where?
Highlandtown.
Yeah, but I'm going to read something to you in a minute. We're going to try to get all the callers in right quick. We got one line open, and we only got 10 more minutes to talk to y'all. So y'all needs to get on the hoof. Let's go here. Carlos, you have a question or comment?
Yeah. Stay woke, folks.
Yes.
Stay woke. Listen, Patrick, thank you for your testimony about your personal medical situation.
Yes.
That helps keep brothers in the community a whole lot. Listen, is the brother Carlos still there?
Yes.
He's right on target about the redlining, and I think he would recall that Elijah Muhammad had a big farm and dairy outfit down in Mississippi. And the cunning devils came in and destroyed that enterprise.
But did you pour salt on the land?
Would poison the cows and.
What about the ground? That because it was acreage, and they sort of all went back because they weren't taking care of it. Is what I read.
Yeah, they did. A whole lot of damage. But I bring this to this point that. Here in Baltimore, you got your redlining problem in terms of property, but watch out for the insurance redlining that goes against our community too.
Yes.
Because now they have the cunning devils are using what they call insurance. I mean, not credit, but credit ratings. Credit ratings. So that if you have if you have a bad credit rating, then you get a higher rate.
Yes.
And that affects our community.
So the people have but to ask if they're basing you, rating, they're crediting you or qualifying you based on that, and that'll help that. But thanks, Carlos. We got the lines are filled, so I got to move a little fast right now. Thanks. Always good to hear from you. Bill, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yes, I do. First of all, let me just say hello to everybody.
Hello.
How you doing, Bill? Sir, I'm good, Leo. And then, sadly, let me just say this. When we talk about politics, we have to look at, I keep saying, what's happening in Baltimore is happening all throughout the United States and urban America.
Yes, sir.
So it's not just who's in office. The biggest problem is that, let me also say this. I want to thank everybody who's trying to do something, trying to uplift us. The biggest problem is that we, the people, haven't created the type changes we need to. I'm going to give you an example. Leo mentioned it in a small way, but when you talk about black agenda, and I've said this before, we can't continue to organize around personalities and status. We have to be able to bring 25, 30 organizations together, develop an agenda where we could agree on issues, put that agenda on paper,
yes, sir.
Put it in a book form.
Say it again.
Have these organizations to put up some money, make sure every household get that agenda, that this is the black agenda, and these 30 organizations, this what we pushing on, to get the people to buy into the agenda that we, the people, put into submission, and then we have the politicians who cannot refuse or refute the agenda. So now do they just articulate it, but they're going to actually be responsible for helping to implement it.
Yes, sir, absolutely, and that's what we're going to do up in here. We've been trying, what do they call it, a CPAC? What they call it, when you put money into a political fund, what is that called?
Oh, you mean a political action committee?
Yeah, I say we need one, and I hope this might be a way.
How long have I been saying that?
Well, Bishop, I know, but they don't listen to you, Pope, but someday they will. My mama said they don't listen, but they going to learn. Cooper, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment? Come quickly. I'm sorry, I don't have much time.
First, I want to say that you, Patrick, and Leo yourself, done a
Very good job.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
number one.
Thank you.
Number two, I want to know
Thank
if I can add a little something in there that just may do a bit of difference. And what I mean by that is that I like to know if all of us can get together and start something called National Black Holiday in Baltimore City. And that means, that National Black Holiday means stand-up day.
Yes, sir.
I don't care if they got to bring vending machines, Kool-Aid, water, or whatever that day. But stand out there and talk to these kids, man, that day.
Listen.
And let them know if we don't straighten it out this day, we will be back another day.
Let me
Black
tell you,
National Holiday will break this thing down.
Cooper,
the right way.
Cooper, I agree with you 100%. And we've thought about that.
everybody
Check
come
this out. Check this out. On August the 17th,
right on,
in Harlem Park, we will celebrate the birth date of Marcus Garvey. And on that date, we will Harlem fed his black wolves did it earlier this year at Henderson.
Matthew Henson
Elementary School. He had 350 kids pull up red, black, and green posters, and they did an incredible thing. And on the 17th, I hear you, and I believe that is the one day. We also got African Liberation Day. But if we can
have to get everybody, man.
Yes, sir, I agree with you. But be listening up, and I want to see you, and I want you to come and say, this is Cooper, and thank you, Patrick Henderson, and I want to thank you, Cooper, because we're on the same wavelength. God bless you, my brother. You are definitely on target. Diane, how are you? This is our last caller for, well, we got a few more minutes. Diane, what you got to say, baby? How are you today? Diane? Di?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing, Patrick?
All right.
Patrick.
Yes, I'm having a hot flash. Go ahead.
God bless you. I was in a meeting on Wednesday with the state's attorney, and registrars was there from housing, and so they was talking about witness intimidation, right? And also they had a film they showed, and then Reggie Scriber said that Poe Home Housing Authority didn't have Poe Home; they just came back and got Poe Home because it was under a private management company. So
what?
Yes, and so they found that they was not doing what they were supposed to do. And so he was talking about that. He said we came back and got Poe Homes after that water incident that happened.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Are you serious? How is that possible in the city now?
Can I finish?
Yes, hurry up, baby.
Okay. So what happened was when they tore down Lexington Terrace, right? So Poe Home is across the street. So the private management company that has the terrace also had Poe Homes. So that's what happened after. The city was over. The housing authority was over top of every new thing for 5 years, and after 5 years, if they done right, the city kept them on, right? So they passed that 5 years because it's been 20-some years since Lexington Terrace has been torn down, almost 30. So that's what happened.
That was the high rise. The
but
Lexington.
they had Poe Homes. Listen to what I say, because I used to work for housing authority, right?
Okay.
Excuse me. By them being with Lexington Terrace. They combined them. The same management company managed Poe Homes too, because they went through a whole renovation for Poe Homes. Because they got more than what we had. They got pretty windows and everything. They got cameras and stuff. We don't have that. So that's because the private company did. So Reggie said on Wednesday that the housing authority went back and took Poe Homes back over.
Well, that's news. That's news. You heard it for the first time here on Patrick Henderson's Meet the People.
I was totally surprised about it.
And Leo, thank you, Di.
I'm saying if that's news, it's news to everybody, and I'm glad she said it. But if they contracted with a private developer, it still falls under the aegis of the Housing Authority of Baltimore City. We're still talking about accountability, and we're talking about the city administration.
Right, but
so I know the game. They're still playing games.
Yes, they are. Bubby, I hear you got some commentary on this right quick. Bubby.
Hey, Patrick.
Yes.
The company name is Edgewood Management. They was a management company that Housing let manage the company. Housing supposed to have managed them. They did not manage them, and they pulled them back like I told you. They took over officially July 1 today. Reggie Scriber is a spy. Reggie Scriber should be terminated along with Janet Abrams for them deplorable conditions. Thank you.
Wow, so it is true. It was just a confirmation about it. Wow.
And the city is liable.
And the
mayor is liable. And the The head of the Department of Public Works, Rudy Chow, he's liable.
Wow.
So they're all playing that same game. David McMillan is the chairperson, the director of the Department of Emergency Management for the city of Baltimore. He's not even in the equation. So there's no way we're going to allow them to wiggle out of this.
Wow.
No way at all.
D. Chase.
Any kind of game.
Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment? D? I guess he hung up. D, call me back. Call me back, D. I'm sorry. We was trying to get to you. Wow. Man, that's just some news. All right.
Brother Patrick.
Yes, Brother.
The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey said this. He said, we're not oppressed because we're black. It's because we're weak. And so the strong oppress the weak. And until we gain strength and power within ourselves, until we value ourselves, we have to value ourselves.
Yes, sir.
We can't demand that other people respect us, that other people value us when we devalue and disrespect ourselves. We have to turn to self.
Yes, sir.
And ensure that we love ourselves and treat ourselves right, and then stand up for ourselves
and each other.
Right? We have to build organization.
Yes, sir.
The brothers have talked about it. Many callers called in today and talked about organization. The UNIA ACL, the organization of Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, is still alive and well. It's 104 years old. We started a recent chapter here in Baltimore in late March.
The fastest growing
fastest growing chapter in the UNIA right now. The Garvey Tubman X Division 172. We meet at the Art Social Club on Thursday night. How to educate people on how we can deal with our circumstances and how we can overcome the oppositions that are rampant.
We just don't do it macro. We're doing it micro too. You send your sons, send your daughters. They need help, send them there because they're going to learn who they are. We're going to empower them there. Then we're not only just going to we're going to do like Jesus did, like they did a Good Samaritan. We're going to put them up in a hotel, take care of them, and then we're going to leave some money by helping them get jobs and change their situations. That was the true essence of the Good Samaritan. He didn't just say, oh, here, and then walk away. He left money to take care of them, and the money that we can give to them is our resources. So send your children. You come with your children so that you might learn together. I haven't heard from my friend here in a minute, and I saw him the other day at the Poe Homes protest at City Hall. Please welcome PFK Boom. How you doing, PFK?
Hey, what's up? How y'all call family doing? Hello?
Good to hear your voice on there. Thank you for calling.
Right on, PFK.
I just wanted, like I say, one city, our hood, our good, our bad, our ugly. This is what y'all were just saying. That's the biggest key to everything that I realized once I entered, let's say, Baltimore City schools and things like that. We wasn't given like Juneteenth. We wasn't given Garveyism, and that's overstood. But I did know that it was in my village. It was in my community. What I'm trying to say is that if we don't have knowledge of self and we really just give these kids, or these adults didn't even know what Juneteenth was when we celebrated it up here in Emerson Village, but it wasn't that Emerson Village people didn't know. It's just that a lot of people just don't know. But a July 4th will have such an energy, and they don't even know the history behind the atrocities of July 4th pertaining to, the entrapment of us. I just go on to say that if we're going to continue on one side getting knowledge of self and the right side just going along with the genocidal plan that is designed in this Jim Crow state, we will be just waiting to, I guess, demise ourselves. Again, the know thyself thing is so important. Boom can do it coming out of a jail. So I hold responsibility to everybody in this city.
Salute. Thank you so much for calling, man. I love you to life. Y'all know I'm from Texas. We've been celebrating Juneteenth. That was 4th of July. Juneteenth from Dallas to be with other folks down in Chatfield, Texas. Boy, barbecue, I'm telling you, long as my life. But we need to think of 4th of July. Don't forget the 4th of July because it ain't liberated us. But Juneteenth, that's the day that we need to start putting into our crawl and teaching to our children. All right, we got 10 minutes. The debates. Kamala Harris zinged Joe Biden, told it the way that it was, and that was the tip of the iceberg, because what y'all don't know is not only did he fight against busing, and some people think that was a good idea, that he should have fought against. I don't, because I concur with Kamala. If there had not been for busing, she wouldn't be standing where she is today, and that's the whole thing about it. And the whole argument was Joe Biden said states' rights, but we know if the state is a racist state, they ain't giving us doodly.
I loved it. I loved it. She called him on it, and that's the right way to go. You got to be combative.
Yes.
If you're going after this president, Donald the actor Trump, you got to go after him. And if you get on the stage with Trump, you got to fight him.
Yes.
And I don't mean doing a Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer, which I don't understand what they're doing, because every time I turn around, they're running to the White House like their tails between their legs. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. If you're going to meet with the president, tell him to come to Capitol Hill.
Yes, sir.
We got co-equal branches of government.
Yes.
So therefore, you shouldn't be running to the White House so he can throw you out the White House.
And then
they're there 1 hour and throw you out.
But you know one thing I know
totally
about him, when they do go to him, they end up clowning his ass so bad that by the time they leave, he's the one that said something stupid or made some promise that he can't keep.
Well, I want you all to pay attention to the fact that he said the only thing that he was doing was fighting against the Department of Education's rulings. Well, when he was doing that, go back to your history. The Department of Education, U.S. Department of Education, wasn't created until 1979.
Wow.
So that was a lie on international TV.
Nothing new for this
and it was one of those things that make you just hold your breath. You can't believe it.
You can't believe it. All right. So we say she won that debate. And Elizabeth Warren, to me, is the only one that's got a plan for everything. Makes sense that people say, well, you know, she was going around saying she was an Indian. How many of us have parents and told us y'all got Indian blood
Trump
in you?
said he was Swedish.
You're right.
Okay, before he was German. He said he was Swedish so that he could collect rents. Without for the Jewish people that were in his apartments, he said, I'm Swedish because if I say I'm German, then that brings up all the Holocaust kinds of issues. So for a period of time until he was exposed, he was Swedish.
Right.
So
I was also impressed with Cory Booker in that they articulated the fact that they're black, and they haven't forgotten it. On a national stage, they make it clear that they're black folks, and we got to do that. We don't have to.
We do have to do it, but I'm going to tell you what I'm afraid of for Cory. Cory voted for against buying Canadian drugs in New Jersey, and he voted in the Senate against that. And I don't think seniors are ever going to forget that. And they are still one of the most consistent voting blocks. And I think once people start saying he voted against those drugs, cheaper drugs coming in from Canada, I don't think he's going to have a good slot. He's good though. I like Carlos. Wait a minute, what's his name? Julian Castro. Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was
very good.
He's very good. Very thoughtful, and I tell you what, Obama didn't seem to be for us, but I tell you, Julian is for his Hispanic people. He's been fighting for them. Unapologetic.
All of these candidates have an Achilles heel. There's something wrong with everybody.
Every one of them is flawed, but none of them are as flawed as our current president.
Yes.
Right.
Collect your thoughts on how Elizabeth Warren is flawed, but she's poor, came from nothing, worked her way up out of something, ended up a professor at Harvard University, then ran for office.
And she's a fighter.
I like that. And she's a woman, and I think America's ready for a woman up in the White House. And a mom. All right, we're going to talk about right quick, who y'all feeling for mayor?
Nobody, none of the above.
You mean in Baltimore City?
Yes.
None of the above.
It's going to be like the presidential primary race. It's about 20 people running.
You're going to get at least 10 to 15 pretenders to this chair.
Okay, I'm going to say something that's
I think I've heard of every pastor around the city running.
White.
If
we can divide the black community, then it will be someone white.
How about Ben Jealous? Crickets.
Ben Jealous allowed white folks to define who he was.
I agree with that.
I have a problem with that.
But the black folks didn't vote for black people didn't vote for him?
Well, more black people voted in this election than ever before in terms of...
and who did they vote for?
But
they obviously voted for Hogan.
They voted for Hogan.
Because I think once that that Democratic Socialist tag was placed on him, that's what did it.
Well, more than that. Even the photographs of him were darkened.
Yes,
this man
demonized.
Is very, very light skinned.
Yeah, almost white.
They darkened the photographs, and then they spent 6 months telling you who he was before he decided to tell you.
And most of the images that they showed like an angry person.
Yes,
on the screen.
Angry black man. So they did that part, but I ain't through yet. It was also these Negroes in this town who decided that they would use their influence to back Hogan, who has deemed and had not been for the Democratic Congress, that their police can stop you and take your property and never charge you for a crime. That's who y'all voted for. I want you to know that. Not only that, he paid again. Hogan tried to veto the paid sick leave bill. He did so many things. The only thing that saved him and kept him from being the cracker that he is, and forgive me if I ain't supposed to say that on there, was the Democratic legislature. That's the only thing. Otherwise, he is just another Trump and Joe Biden in the closet.
So I want to react to Sherry briefly. Consenting adults, in my opinion, can marry whomever they please.
Yes.
I don't care who you marry and who you sleep with.
Right.
This image that's projected on the media of black men with white women that you see every day is by design. That's designed to inflame the white man to do what Dylan Roof did.
Yes.
This is by design.
I agree with you.
No, that's part of the white nationalist agenda. They want a war, and this is a way to enhance.
Richard, what are we saying?
I say they want to go back to racial purity again.
That's exactly right.
I agree partially with Leo's statement, but if you remember, Antario Patella has a great retrospect in the back of his book, Not in My Neighborhood, where he actually talks about that is the direction of this country, the more mixed races, and that's what the conservatives, evangelical Christians, the right Republicans fear.
Right wing
is because technically within less than a decade,
by 2050,
you're going to have more mixed races.
Yes, but you know what? I just read statistics the other day that says that black men are not marrying white women at the rate they used to. Now they're marrying Hispanic women and Asian women. They marry none of
if we let them wipe us out, we won't marry anybody. We better be prepared, as Messiah Fit has said, for warfare, computer science, military.
It's going to be a
just a second, and we should study what place we study has been good for us, what has failed us, right? And if what we are doing has failed us, in other words, it hasn't really created the change that we're looking for, then we've already laid out one of the mappings right now today. We've talked about it, which is a black agenda. Right? Have we ever had a black agenda in the city of Baltimore?
Not that I
Have we ever put one before the candidates in the city of Baltimore?
Not really. We've talked about it, but we haven't delivered.
Richard, what did you say?
Because we haven't, because we're too inclined to vote just because.
So we need to change.
Yes.
So we need to change that direction so that we can create something anew. If we want to see something different in 2020, in terms of politics in the city of Baltimore, then everyone who called in here today, we need to begin to get together so we can create this agenda that we've talked about today and make a new tomorrow.
And that political action committee has got to become a reality.
We got to go. Listen, every Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Arc Social Club, the UNIA Garvey Tubman will be meeting at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And August 25th will be our first mass meeting. We'll be talking about that more.
Yes, we will. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Say goodbye, Leo.
Keep the faith, everybody.
Say goodbye, Jimmy.
Goodbye. Don't let the termites affect your foundation.
Yes. Richard, say goodbye. And listen, y'all pray for me. I started my procedures last week and they're going great, but the doctor wants to see me today. So just pray he don't bring me no bad news.
I go in for surgery next week.
Oh, wow. At University of Maryland?
Yep.
See there, I got him into the proton thing. Y'all don't die. You don't have to die from cancer. University of Maryland Proton Center. God bless. Have a great week. See you next Monday. Bye-bye. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Love your family.
Wishing you never had. Once you realize it wasn't worth it. Your destiny.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
Bernice was in deep trouble with the IRS.
I owed $25,000 to the IRS. How am I ever going to work this out?
She called Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm.
They always took the time to make sure that I understood everything 100%. It was like the easiest thing to do.
A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, Optima has resolved over $500 million for their clients. Bernice was very happy.
No more being afraid to go to the mail. No more being afraid to answer the phone. No further collection, no liens, no levies. Now I don't have to worry at all.
The bottom line for Bernice?
I'm now debt-free. What more proof do you need that Optima Tax Relief actually works?
For tax help you can trust, call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation.
Optima Tax Relief actually delivers what they say they'll deliver. They went above and beyond.
Call 800-799-0977. 800-799-0977. 800-799-0977.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 10.